Hey ladies, hey beautiful queens. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're blessed and having a wonderful day. So today I wanted to come to you. I didn't write down any notes. This is just a heart to heart that I just wanted to come out and share with you. It's going to be more of a story time. So here we go. I was having a conversation with a very good friend, and we were just talking about relationships. Like, when the relationship ends, are you at a place where you can just close the chapter, close that door? So many of you who know me personally know that I was married. I'm presently divorced, and it's been a numerous amounts of years actually. But for some reason, I thought that I was completely healed. But the other day, I was doing some paperwork for my son, and I had to speak to a professional on the phone. And she asked me a question about my pregnancy. And it never dawned on me that, I would react in the way that I reacted. But I broke out in tears, and for some reason I felt like I was stuck right there. I couldn't go past that moment. And then I started to think about some of the things that happened while I was pregnant with my twins. And that time was a very hard time in my life, actually. I actually remembered like it not being a time that I was happy at all. I was left to figure out how I'm going to raise these kids and, figure out life, navigate life as a single parent. We were going through a very hard time during that period of time in my marriage. We were actually separated. So he lived in one location and I lived in another location. And, there were a lot of things that when I look back, I'm like, you were on point, Tania. You were on point. You knew exactly what was going on, but this person, the truth is, I knew that he was never faithful to me. I knew a lot of the things that I was feeling in my gut. It was the truth, but he made me feel like I was crazy because I wasn't seeing the evidence. So, it just was a time that I had to make some hard decisions, and really know that although I wanted him around, which I'm thinking, why did you still want him around, Tania? Why did you want him around? He was cheating. He had relationships with several women. They didn't show them. Why did I accept it? Why? I had the feeling. Well, they would say it's intuition or whatever, but now I know it's discernment. Like, God was already showing me, like, something about this situation is shaky. Although we didn't live in the same home, we didn't, he was like obsessed with me not, having control over me. That's what he was obsessed with. I'm having his children. I have to stay put. I have to follow the rules. But I was hearing all these things about him. And, even up till the day that I was delivering the twins, his girlfriend actually came to, dropped him off at the hospital and took his car, which he would not admit that she was a girlfriend. He actually said that she was just a girl who he used to befriend. Like, he never admitted that they had a relationship. She was a road girl, as to what he would say. He never really admitted to me about any type of relationship. He would make me feel that, don't worry, we're going to be living together soon and we're going to fix the situation. Although he would not touch me, like during my pregnancy, and I'm thanking God that he did not have that desire to touch me, because knowing him, like, he went around and I don't know who he was with to bring me back stuff. You know, just when I think back, like, he put me through some stuff. He really did. I mean, this same girl turns out becoming pregnant, and then I don't even think 8 months later. No, I had my twins in October. By December, they went on a vacation, and she winds up pregnant after. And he swore up and down that, you know, there was nothing going on between them. There was nothing. And me, I will tell the truth. The truth is what it is. Because now this is the process of healing. But, I mean, for months, the man lied. In fact, he actually told me that, you know, it wasn't nothing like that. This girl was a business person, and it was just like a whole bunch of random things. I basically found out that she actually had a baby after the fact. I mean, because he would never admit. He would not admit. I searched his phone, and that's where I found the evidence. She wrote in a text message that her son spilled the formula that he just dropped off. And that's when I found out about the child. And, you know, I was hurt. I'm not going to lie. And I had the most things to say about her. Now I'm thinking back, and I was mad at her, but I really had no reason to be mad at her. I was not married to her. And, you know, it just kept getting worse and worse because, you know, as all of these things were happening, I was planning and planning and planning. And, you know, I actually didn't get to see her in person until he got incarcerated and we went to court. So apparently, like, they were back and forth talking, and it just turns out that he called me and he probably knew that I would reject his situations. So when he got incarcerated, I was like, this is like the plan now that we're going to exit, because we had moved in together afterwards. So he was there to help me at my home because I had the twins, and he came in and all of that stuff. And I was going to teachers college at the same time. So he was there as that help. And honestly, he got arrested. I wasn't going to show up at the court, but I said, you know what, I'm going to go there and find out what's been going on. And basically, when they called his name, she walked up. That was the first time I had seen her in person. I know I went on Facebook and I seen pictures. So as I was saying, she we both walked up to the lawyer when they called his name, and he asked me, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm his wife." And he was dumbfounded. He didn't know what was going on because apparently he was dealing with her and she was setting up everything. And this guy was so manipulative. He was playing both of us because he was talking to her and he was talking to me and saying, no, she doesn't exist. It's just whatever. And, at that point, I was just planning what was going to happen next. What would happen next. And when she looked in my eyes and she said, "I guess it's time for us to talk." And that's when she told me, they've been in a relationship and he was her son. And, I was just, and then I found out that he was incarcerated because he had attacked his other girlfriend's boyfriend, I don't know, a man that was in her house. I don't want to say who the person is because I really don't know. But he basically left my home and went to his other girlfriend's house and attacked a male that was in her house. And, it's so sad because so now I'm finding out about this love triangle that he had going on. I had no clue because once again, the girls were not coming forward. They knew about me, but I knew nothing about them. I was just piecing things together to come to the conclusion of what was going on. So she informed me that she has a son, Lady A. And then when I left the court that day, a Lady B called me and she told me that, she's been having a relationship with him for, I believe, 6 years. 6 years. And the saddest part is her and I grew up in the same neighborhood. So she was well aware of who I was. But I knew nothing about her. I would hear things like people would say, that girl's dealing with your husband. And, she would be like, I don't match him. Like, I'm not, I don't know, good enough to be with him. And, it would hurt because I'm sitting down and thinking like, I can't get rid of this man. He won't leave my house. And he's having all these relationships and doing all these things. He was abusive, verbally, physically, everything. I felt like I was stuck in something that I didn't even know how it got to here. So when everything actually came out now, and he came out of, he was bailed out, I couldn't bring myself to going to bail him. I felt so betrayed. I felt used. I felt all the emotions were in me. That would be the ideal thing for me to bail him. That's what he wanted. So he would continue living the life that he was used to. Lady A, her mother, bailed him, and he was under a lot of conditions at that point. And, I came to that point where I was like, it when you feel something in your gut and you know something's wrong, you have to make those choices to let go and separate yourself. God shows us signs way before things take place. But we want relationships and we think of all these things that really don't make it sense. Even after all this bad treatment, I was willing to compromise. And it just was like one thing after the next. I had, because I didn't know my worth. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my value. I didn't have trust in myself. I knew that this man was the father of my children, and I didn't want to raise children on my own. But being in that relationship, I was already a single mom with just a man who would come home. I can't even say at night, because he would come home any hours. And, one thing that woman B said to me was the only problem that she really had with him was that he was saying all these things, but he would never leave. I was all of these things to him. I was not what he wanted, but he would know, because I didn't love myself. That's the truth. I didn't love myself, and I was looking to find love in him, and he couldn't provide me with that love. I'm at a point now in my life where I can come and speak about this. Before, I couldn't say anything about it, because I know in my heart I was not prepared. I was not ready. One thing that I can say is I'm working on forgiving him. A lot of people ask me, how can you exchange words with him? I'm telling you, it's the grace of God. It's sad to say. It really is. But I could not get through this situation in my life without God. I don't know where I would be. Some days I didn't feel like leaving my house. I didn't feel like combing my hair. I just would eat as a comfort to hide the true raw emotions that I was facing. I was feeling rejected. I was feeling abandoned. I was feeling like, how could I be with someone and they despised me in that way? I'm learning how to forgive myself too. I know we got married at a very young age, and we didn't even know what a real relationship looked like. We didn't take pride in certain things. But I can say that now I'm learning to respect myself and set up boundaries, because when you're dealing with someone who disregards everything about you, you have to put on that strong exterior. And one thing I can say is, like, I have to continuously pray. I have to pray, because this person's a monster still. Sad to say. I think what I still hold on to is the fact that I let this happen for such a long time. I let this happen for such a long time. I didn't put a stop to it. I could have lost my life. Those who know that story know exactly what I was going through. And now I have to be at the point where I have to forgive myself. I forgive him. I forgive him. But now I have to forgive myself and heal. So fully heal. You know, I've been talking to God and asking him, just God, take away this pain. Take away this pain. Because this situation really put a toll on me. You know, I am grateful that I had supportive family members and supportive friends, and, you know, just people who are willing to sit down and listen while I was going through this. I know it must have been really hard seeing all of these things happen, and, you know, I was just at a standstill. I didn't do much, but now I can say I'm okay with the fact that, you know, I'm a single mom. I chose my kids and I chose my life over this toxic love affair that was going on. And I just want to be I just want to be a good mother that my kids will look up to me and know that, you know, when the time's right, they'll understand some of the things that I went through, and I can help them to realize that, you know, this type of life is not what they need to accept from anyone. Please, if you ever find yourself in a position that you're in a relationship and, you know, you notice things, you see the red flags, try to get some help. Try to get some help. You don't want to be stuck in this and make a choice that will cause you to lose your life. I mean, I wish that I took the opportunity years ago to leave. So, ladies, thank you for listening. I know this is like all over the place, but this is my truth. I hope that someone will listen and feel encouraged to step out of a situation that is toxic or harmful to them. Choose you. Put you first. Put you first. Look and just realize that this is not what you need. You're more than this. You're beautiful. You're special. You're wonderful. You're created in such a special way. And you never have to take disrespect. You never have to take situations that cause you to feel like you're not enough. You're good enough. There's more than just walking away in this type of relationship. Once you walk away, make sure the door is closed. Make sure you forgive yourself. Work on forgiving yourself. Work on healing. Work on forgiving that person. That doesn't mean you have to take them back in and be their friend or have a barbecue with them. That doesn't mean that. Forgiveness is based on you. So you have to find what works for you. And I would say surround yourself with God. Surround yourself with God. He really helped me get through a lot of these things. Trust yourself. Trust the process. I love you. And just